Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. I am super excited. Happy Friday. Look, we have another opportunity to make money in the market or just learn from the market. But let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And the stock market is just one of those avenues, right? So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla and trying to do my pre-market prep with Tesla, and Tesla has been different. We have been going down. Let's say that, looking at it on a higher time frame, this is the 1 hour chart. We have been going down. It consolidated, broke out of that consolidation, or what I like to say the gathering spot, and we've been declining since then. We can see it on the 1 hour and the 4 hour time frame. It's amazing to see that Tesla was at 204.52 here. It made a high on let's see, 3/1/24, and here we are at 3/15/24 at the low. We hit 160.51, right? And that level is important, that 160.51. So let's go back to the 30-minute time frame. Tesla this morning has been having trouble at this area, which was a previous support area for us, which is now resistance. This is one of those cases to where support becomes resistance, resistance becomes support type thing, right? So the high all morning that Tesla has been able to reach is 164.83, 164.88, 164.79. It seems like we have had trouble at this 164.85, which makes a lot of sense because that was an area of support, and it was support from 5/16 of this year, right? So, or last year, let me rephrase that. 5/16 of last year, right? So Tesla hit resistance, came down, broke out of that gathering spot, because this would have been a gathering spot if we would have marked that area, and start making lower lows, meaning we're going down, right? So it seems like we're breaking out of this area to continue to the downside. The levels, those dotted lines that you see, are previous support levels that we had before. And so I didn't mark my normal gathering spot that I would with the lavender lines to let me know that's a 30-minute, because we are already in those places, and I don't want to clutter my charts. It's easy to do that. So I just left the chart, the lines that I had previously, right? So this is looking at Tesla on a 5-minute chart. And as you can see, we're still trading kind of like within that range. It's the high of the day thus far is 164.88. The high pre-market thus far is 164.88, and the low is 162.07. So Tesla, in my opinion, it shows us, or it's given us a signal that we are very, we're kind of on the downside. And I went back and I got some information as to, I always ask why. There's always a reason why, right? Even when we don't understand it. And that's in life. Everything has its reason. So it has a reason, right? So Tesla, somebody sold about 94,000 shares of Tesla on 3/12, which is important to know. They sold the shares. We are now seeing, why Tesla, or understanding why Tesla is declining, right? And we just ride the wave. If we can't buy that many shares, why not benefit from the sale of those shares, right? That's something to think about. So Tesla is declining, and the charts have been showing us just the same. So this is Tesla on the daily chart, and I'm going to try to get it a little bit clearer for you. This is Tesla on the daily chart. We consolidated, sold off, consolidated, drop down again. So are we going to continue, consolidating here? Or are we going to continue to the downside? We made a low of 160.51, which I didn't have marked on my charts, right? So what I needed to do is go back and figure out where was that level of support. Why did Tesla stop there? That's something I always want to figure out. What stopped it? What made it stop moving at that point or past that point, right? So I went and I formed this solid line here to let me know that 160.51. I need to go back to the left. They always say when in doubt, zoom out. I need to go back to the left to see what date was that 160.51, or kind of like get me close to that area or to that range, right? So I'm going to look to, let's see, I'm on the 2 year already. Let's go back out and see if we can figure out what stopped Tesla and where that is. And I already see I'm following this blue line here, right? And sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming with all of that information on your charts. So I'm looking for this solid blue line here. Where is that? And I noticed yesterday that Tesla filled a gap that I had marked to the downside, which was here. We filled that gap. So in my opinion, Tesla still has some more gaps to fill to the downside, right? So this is that level of where that blue line hit, or that 160.51, which is on 420. The low of this candle is 160.56. So we are kind of close here. Is, this area lets me know that this was from almost a year ago. This was April of 2023. We're now in March of 2024. So almost a year ago, we're back at the same price that we were with Tesla. So does that mean we're going to continue to the downside? We are very close to filling another gap that I had marked from 125 to 126. Tesla gapped up that day, and it has a gap at that range. That's why we have the shaded area here to let us know that there is a gap to the downside that needs to be filled. Okay, so now that Tesla has reached this area that's kind of close to this, I'm going to go and I'm going to mark some areas of what could possibly be support for Tesla, which is here and here. These are areas that Tesla could very well fall down to. And, sometimes I'll make, if it's kind of close to that area, I kind of leave it there just so that I'll know. And if it's easier for you to change the color so that, you're not just looking at the same color lines, whatever is easier for you. But I had needed to go back because I did not have, it has broken out of all of my support areas. So I needed to go back and figure out where can we find support, right? And this 160.51 was a good start for me to go and look. So now that I have those areas marked, I'm going to go back to our current time, right? Where we are now. So those are areas that we could very well find support for Tesla, or have support for Tesla. And I guess I should have, yeah. So our support areas are at 159.63, 158.89, 157.33, all the way down to that 155.48. Those are all support areas for us. Am I saying that we're going to make it to those places? I don't know where it's going to find support. I do know that those are previous areas of support, and we could very well go back down to those areas. So it had, as a recap, Tesla has tapped in or touched all of those support levels that I had marked, right? And I needed to go back and figure out where our support areas, what's our new support area, or where are my trouble places, what do I need to pay attention to. And to get that, I went to the daily chart. I made a solid line here so that it could be separated from my dotted lines. That was something that my eye would have been, I can follow with my eye, let me say that. And with that being said, I went to a previous low for Tesla, which was, let's see, 161. Let me go back. See how easy it is to get confused with those lines if you're not careful. Because I've added so many other lines, that solid line is where my eye need to go, to that solid line. So you have to, even though the charts can be so cluttered or so confusing, you have to do something to help you. And that's what I mean, charting is not hard to do. It's just trying to figure out a method that works for you so you don't get overwhelmed with all the different things. Because I used to clear my charts at the end of the day, and I'm like, okay, why do I do that? Because I'm going to have to go back and do the work again. So I had to come up with a system as to this is what works for me. So again, that 160.51 was support for Tesla back from April of 2023. We're back at that area again. I've marked the areas of support at the 159.63, 158.89, 157.33, 155.48. Those are support places for me. Looking at currently where Tesla is, can we reach those levels? We absolutely can. So this is those levels that we marked that was so cluttered and congested on the 30 on the daily chart. Do you see how when we zoom out and look at it on the actually a 30-minute, we see that those are our support places. Meaning if Tesla breaks where we are now, which is here, if we break below the 162.07 today, which is the low of this candle, 162.07, if we break this, we could very well come down, back down and test the 160.51 and break down in that range. So if you're trading Tesla, to the downside, or even trading Tesla altogether, pay attention to those areas. Go back in and find areas of support by looking at previous candles, previous day candles, looking at the daily chart. This was an area of support for Tesla. So yeah, it's really not hard. I say that often. It's not hard. It's just paying attention to what you see and having the discipline to do what you see. So again, I hope this video is very, very helpful. Basically, Tesla, it looks like it's about to take us back, continuing to the downside. Some people may look at this move here and say we may go up. It has some trouble in this area, and I'll remember that. Now, I would set an alert that if we break this area, it broke through some strong resistance, and I need to watch that. Why? Because it had trouble in that area before. So we have our support areas. We know where we're going to have trouble. Trade what you see. Don't get overwhelmed with your trades. And I hope, again, this video is very, very helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn with me, the good, the bad, the different, the learning with me. And we learn and we grow together, right? We don't always get it right, but we try every day to do better than we did before, right? So I, again, hope that you have an awesome day today, y'all. Until next time.